You are listening to Processing Trauma Out Loud, conversations about trauma and healing from two women who are doing the work.
Hey everyone, it's Sher here today with Processing Trauma Out Loud. I'm here alone today because Candace was not able to be with us today, but I had a few things that I wanted to share with you from my heart, and so I decided I would go ahead and take this opportunity to do so. One of the words that has been coming up a lot for me recently with people that I am in conversations with, and also just the realization of experiencing this. And I think the reason why this is so impacting for me is, and I'm guessing that a lot of you can really relate to me, is that I grew up feeling very lonely in life. As a matter of fact, if I were to say what is the one feeling that I have felt most profoundly through my life, it has been loneliness. That even when I was with people, when people were around, even in conversations or all the dynamics that happen relationally, I still had a deep sense of loneliness. I have a lot of understanding now why that is true, and it comes from a lot of childhood trauma where I was alone, where in situations that were hard, harmful, impossible, really, in a lot of respects, I felt very much alone, even when there were other people around, even when there were adults there that could have, and frankly, should have offered care and didn't. And one of the words that comes up a lot lately in conversation is the word, we've kind of made it up, Candace and I talk about it a lot, is the word with-ness, W-I-T-H-N-E-S-S. Different from witness, although it definitely includes having a witness. In these places of harm that we are grappling with, and we are grappling with them, I feel like I have experienced a lot of healing in the last many months. It's taken a lot of hard work in order for some of these pieces to begin falling into place. Not that they haven't been falling into place all along, because they have. And I've been very encouraged in my journey over the last several years, particularly as I began to learn about, of course, story work and having with-ness in story work. But then as I began to really identify my parts and understand the dynamics of IFS, which of course is what we talked about with Lori Proctor the last few weeks. But this work has been incredibly impacting in my own life, and it still is. Frankly, I have had a couple of experiences very recently, like within the last 2 weeks, where I feel like some things have come together for me that have created new neural pathways. And it really has been because of with-ness. And so what do I mean by with-ness? I mean going to these places of harm where we feel a lot of shame, where we can feel horror, where we can feel terror, terrified, where we can feel panicky, where our emotions can literally take us out or overwhelm us. And little by little, I've been opening the door on some of the memories that have been hardest for me, frankly. The memories where the harm has gone deepest, where I have just been stuck in some of these core places of core wounding. And I have known for a while that I needed to move toward these spaces, and that if I didn't move toward them, I wouldn't be able to achieve the next steps that I have been longing for in my heart and soul and body. And so I've been very deliberately, step by step, going towards some of these stories of harm that are the hardest to tell, where the shame has been the deepest, and where the impact on my soul has been profound, and where the beliefs that I have believed about myself most deeply have been embedded and rooted and really hard to uproot, really hard to dismantle, really hard to find a way through. And I've only been able to do it because of with-ness. Not only with-ness from my coaches, which has been amazing, and I'm so grateful for these wise women who have gone before, who have done their work, who have learned how to contain, how to hear stories of horror and not turn away, how to be with me in places where I lose my words, where I can't speak, where I'm caught in an overwhelming sense of emotion that I can't even express. And then they will just wait with me there, gently holding the space and helping me come to a place where I can take that next little step, and then that next little step where I can catch a breath or say a word or add another aspect to the story. And for me, this kind of a with-ness has been, as I said, profoundly impacting for me. Literally has transformed the beliefs that I have about myself, has transformed and is transforming the beliefs, the core beliefs that I have had about myself. And just to name a few of those, it feels a little risky. I think one of the beliefs that I've held about myself is that I haven't been worthy to really be fully alive, that I couldn't show up as my true self, that my true self was not welcomed. I have had a belief deep at the core of my being that I am unlovable. And I know that this goes back to the very first weeks and months of life. And we find ways to cover that, to cope, to go through life, and yet always it keeps popping up, these core beliefs that we have about ourselves that seem hard to identify. I mean, I think it has taken me a long time even to identify some of these core beliefs, but then as I have identified them, really hard to dismantle them. But as I have had with-ness, where another person is beside me, offering perspective, asking questions, giving their opinion of what they see and how they experience me, offering data that is different than the data that has been held in my limbic brain. Data based a lot on perceptions. Some of it is based on stories, little snatches here and there that I have heard. But a lot of it is based on perceptions, and yet the beliefs have driven so much of my life. And so to have with-ness is to have another person's eyes on my story, to hear the words I'm speaking, to listen with care to the stories that I'm telling, to offer other options as far as how I perceived the situation, or maybe ask questions about where was the adult, or who stepped in to help you, or how are you holding that deep sense of betrayal, or what has it felt like to be so ignored throughout much of your life? Some of these questions that have been agonizing, really. And many times I have to pause and I have to have time to think and process and journal and wonder before I can even formulate an answer. But the with-ness that I experience is tender. It's full of compassion and care. It's a truth-telling place where the truth of my stories can come forth in a way where there's containment, where I feel care and safe. And these are dynamics that are so necessary in order to go to these hard places. So I experience with-ness when I meet with my coaches. I also experience with-ness when I meet with my people, with my tribe, other people who are doing this work, other people who are doing their own work, who are laboring through their own stories, who can read my face now, who can listen when I say I'm struggling. People who have come to know some of my patterns and some of the places where I go. And if I get quiet, they come after me, or they can see me shutting down, or they can catch me when I try to change the subject. With-ness, with other women who are with me on this journey, who are walking beside me, women who will call me, women who will send me a text, women who are offering their heart and soul and body to help me find presence in my heart and soul and body when I'm struggling to stay present and not just go into hypo-arousal or hyper-arousal. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because, of course, because with-ness has had such a big impact on my life and is having such a big impact in my life. I also have had several people recently tell me that they don't have people who can hold this kind of space. They don't have friends who have done their work. They don't have people that know how to read their face or see them shutting down. And I want to say that I hear that cry with so much compassion. I've spent so much of my life hoping and longing and frankly looking. I feel like I looked hard for a community, for a tribe that was mine. And now that I have it in a few different contexts, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, these are the people that have helped me come to places of more joy and peace and wholeness and the ability to be myself and to be alive and to feel creative and to receive affirmation and so much goodness. And what I want to say to you is, if you are longing for this but you don't have it, I want to just encourage you, like, keep seeking. Google story work. Check out the Allender Center. Check out The Broken and Beautiful. Check out So That. These are organizations that are doing the work, that are equipping people through one-to-one coaching or story groups or trainings, where you not only will learn and grow and be tended to from that experience, but where you will then begin to make connections with others also who are doing this kind of work. Connecting with others who are my peers and doing this journey with them has been invaluable for me. And so I want to just encourage you, if your heart is longing for with-ness, don't give up. Reach for it. Pay for it. I know sometimes paying for this can feel really hard. I know. But these are dollars that are so worthwhile. Like, do whatever it takes to get the money to find a coach and hire a coach or join a story group. This is the work that will help you come to places that you have only dreamed of. Our hearts are groaning for perfection, right? For heaven. Like, our body is literally groaning for that wholeness. But I'm telling you, we can experience high degrees of it in this life, here and now. And I think our world is so hungry for this, and so many people are crying for this. I want to encourage you today, take a step. Reach out to Candace and me at CandaceSher@gmail.com. And let us get you connected with someone who can walk beside you on this path. It's I just cannot even say loud enough. It's the most important thing that you can do if you are suffering from the effects of childhood trauma. And if you are longing for freedom and healing and life and love and connection and wholeness, that is something that your heart is really longing for. Don't give up. Take another step. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to Processing Trauma Out Loud. Candace and I have so much care for you. And today, as we think about with-ness, I just want to bless you. And I want you to know that is my hope and my desire for you, that you will find people and communities where you can experience with-ness that will change your life. Good to be with you today.